Hey, what's up guys? This is Antwon here. For this video we are taking a look at these. If you don't recognize the brand on the tongue there, these are a pair of filling pieces, specifically their low model in a color that they call Ghost. So filling pieces, correct me if I'm wrong here, I might just be totally bullshitting, but I think they are called filling pieces because they fill the gap in the market between your kind of 80 to 100 pound trainers, kind of like Stan Smith type thing, and the higher end, your kind of Balenciaga, your Maison Martin Margiela, etc., kind of 400, 500 pounds. So these retail at 160, so kind of quite nicely positioned between high fashion and kind of everyday mainstream consumer type thing. Yeah, I kind of sit in the middle there, both in terms of price and in terms of style. So in some ways these are kind of like a mainstream shoe, but then a couple of subtle twists, which we'll get onto a little bit later in the video. Luckily though, I didn't pay £160 for these. I got these in the Harvey Nichols sale earlier this month, kind of January sale type thing, you know, the deal. So I got these for 77, I think, which is pretty good. I'm pretty pleased with these for 77 quid. They also had the Rafe Simmons Stan Smiths as well. I would have liked to have picked a pair of those up. I think they had some like plain white ones and stuff, as well as some crazy like orange and purple 3-strap type deals. But yeah, it would have been cool to pick up a pair of those, but they went instantly, as you can imagine. I think they were going for like 90, something like that, which is pretty damn good for a pair of Rafes. But anyway, back to these. So although these are called, I think they're either called lows or low tops, either way, although these are called lows, these are actually quite high, especially for a low top shoe. You can kind of see here, and hopefully I'll kind of superimpose the awkward sneakerhead stand walk around type thing at this point. But you can see that these are quite high, especially on the tongue here, which is very distinctive. This is very much kind of filling pieces hallmark. Yeah, they come up kind of weirdly high, like almost to the shin. On the tongue there, and yeah, just generally around the shoe. These are kind of like between an old school and a skate high, I think, in terms of how high they are. And the old schools are not exactly the lowest of the Vans shoes. So yeah, they are actually relatively high despite being called low tops. So that is something to bear in mind, but I do think that helps to give them their kind of distinctive edge. The sole, I think, is also one of the more interesting parts of the shoe. This is a kind of like the more high fashion-y type thing, something that you wouldn't really see on a cheaper shoe. It's got a very interesting kind of geometric, this sort of cut-out pattern along the sole, which is kind of matched along the suede at the bottom with the stitching. I think, yeah, it helps it give it that kind of unique edge. Not really seen too many other shoes do this sort of thing. You could argue maybe the Rick Owens Adidas runners. They have a very kind of geometric sole, but that's kind of way more out there. This is a lot more ready to wear, consumer friendly type thing, which I think is good. I like these a lot. You can also get a version of these which don't have this kind of jagged sole. They just have like a flat sole around the bottom. So if you're not too big on this kind of jagged sole type thing, then you can just get a straight sole as well. Personally, I think these are a bit more exciting, so I went for these over the straight soled version. But yeah, there are other options if you so wish. Other interesting features, of course, the logo here, which is kind of debossed on the tongue, which looks very nice. I think that's a nice touch. And also this kind of quilted, almost type padding thing at the back here. That's not just style, you can actually feel that on the inside, that there's a little bit of padding. And again, also on the tongue, there's quite a bit of padding there, so it's quite kind of cushiony, quite squashy. It does help with comfort a little bit. Although saying that, these are not the most comfortable shoes out there, I found. Maybe I've been spoiled by like Ultra Boosts and Flyknit Racers and Prestos and stuff like that. But yeah, I think these are a bit average in terms of comfort. Maybe it's just because they're new. These are leather, and they're quite kind of thick leather as well. Although it is quite supple, it is still it's quite a thick shoe in terms of construction. So I'm hoping that it will kind of soften up over time and end up becoming really comfy. But right now, yeah, a little bit hard, a bit kind of tight, especially around the toe area as well. So that is something to look out for. That yeah, not the most comfortable shoes, but I don't know how much you can expect with a kind of full leather shoe like this. I would say they're probably more comfortable than, I have a pair of like all white leather shoes from COS, which are very similar, although kind of lower, a lot more like a common project style shoe, and these are more comfy than that. So they're not the least comfy shoe out there by any means. But yeah, if you're expecting these to be like the most comfortable shoes you've ever bought, then perhaps don't go for them for that reason. I do have a pair of common projects as well, although they're not really the best things to judge because I bought them second hand and they're in like pretty beat up condition. But those are actually really comfy. So those have kind of like been pre-worn in, and they're not as comfy as those common projects. So your mileage may vary on the comfort front. What else? Yeah, I kind of mentioned the all leather construction, kind of suede-y leather. It has that kind of powdery type finish to it, which I think is really nice. The color is really, really cool. I think it's this kind of like cool gray type color. Ghost is what they call it, which is quite a cool name, I think. The quality on these is very, very obviously apparent. As I kind of mentioned before, leather is very thick but still quite supple. I think these will age very well over time. All the stitching and stuff is really nice as well. There's like not a stitch out of place on these. The sole as well, also incredibly thick, very rigid and sturdy. So I would expect these to last for quite a long time, I think. You guys that like collecting boxes or you like showing them off or whatever, this is what the box looks like. It is pretty much an entirely plain black box. It has filling pieces written on the front here, kind of like shiny finish. The rest of the box is matte. It doesn't come with any dust bags or anything, unfortunately, so there's no like extra bits that you get inside this. So it's pretty much a standard kind of affair. It would have been nice, I think, to have seen a dust bag in there, especially if you're paying full price. Like if you're spending 160 quid on a pair of leather shoes, I feel like it's not that unreasonable to expect a dust bag. So yeah, that would be one of my few criticisms of these shoes. I think that they don't come with something like that, which yeah, just, you know, kind of high quality, nice touch, because it's obviously what they're going for. They're obviously trying to make a very nice, high quality shoe. And kind of feel like high fashion without really being that high fashion £400-500 price. Maybe it's just me being a bit pedantic or whatever, but yeah. So that's pretty much it from me in terms of these. I do like them a lot. Hopefully that has come across in this video. I do think they're really cool. In terms of what to wear them with, I think these are really nice with a kind of minimalist sort of look. I think they look very comfortable with like a shirt and jumper combo, that type thing. They're not really too kind of streetwear-y type style, so you know, maybe don't go like throwing on your Supreme hoodies and stuff with all these, because I think they're a little bit kind of smart for that. But you know, I do think you could go for a very kind of like clean cut look, you know, just wear like a t-shirt that's a similar color to this, for example, black jeans, get a pair of these on. Maybe like chuck some rings on or something if you want some accessories. I don't know. So if you're wondering if you want to get these, you're a bit, you know, I appreciate 160 quid is kind of a lot, especially if you're not really used to paying that much for shoes, and you're kind of wondering, is the quality worth it above like a normal kind of 80 quid pair of trainers? I would say yes. These are really nice in terms of construction. So yeah, they're not the most comfy shoes at the moment, but I do have high hopes that these will kind of bed in a bit more and they'll end up being a lot more comfy. What else can I say? 2 thumbs up. Recommended. Thank you for watching this video. I am very pleased if you made it this far, because it makes my stats look really good. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Leave me a thumbs up. If I get 4 thumbs up, then I don't fucking know. I don't know. Thanks for watching. See you later.